Fierce fighting, the best fighting. Ah! Let's train! Fierce fighting, street fighting. Being a bouncer for many years, I learned a lot of techniques, very lethal and effective street fighting combinations that you couldn't necessarily do in the octagon because of the rules situation. But on the street, anything goes, and this could be the difference between walking away or being carried away in a stretcher. Situation one on the street, individual is having words with you. You already tried to walk away from the confrontation. You tried to avoid it at all costs, but he just keeps coming at you. In most street situations, the opponent will either shoot in on your legs to take you down, or will come with a big, strong, looping right hand to just take you out right away. This is the most percentage of things that the opponent will do, so I have this in my mind and I'm very aware of it. Knowing this, as I stand across from him, I see him throw that big looping right to take me straight out. As I see this coming, I move my head out of the way as to not get contact with the punch. As I also do that, I parry it with my left hand as I push my head away. Notice my feet are not stepping to the side in any way. They're still planted. So as I parry and come to the side, my feet come straight forward, closing the distance with the assaultant. As I do that, the other hand is coming around almost as a strike, but as I come closer and come in, I'm sliding in to him, pushing away, locking the bicep on the jugular, head on the tricep, bringing it in. As I come in, the leg steps through, bringing him down as I twist, keeping the choke on the ground, locking it up in the bicep, head on the tri, squeeze. Remember, always keep your eyes on your opponent, being aware of your surroundings, be it other individuals or weapons that could be used against you or for you in this warfare. Feet straight ahead, keeping the individual in front of you, eyes on him, head down. We already know that this fight is going to occur, therefore hands are up. As I see him throw a big looping straight right towards me, step to the side with the head, keeping your feet planted, parrying at the same time. As I parry, I'm coming forward, stepping in. As I step in, the hand across the neck slides across, stopping with the bicep on the jugular, on the side of the neck, the head and ears to the tricep. I step in, bringing the hand to the head so that I can lock it against my bicep. As I step through, turning the individual down, holding on at the whole time. Remember when you're falling to keep your base so you don't get rolled. Hold on to the choke, squeezing the ear towards the head, the biceps together. Applies the choke. Let's review this again so you guys understand the concepts and the principles behind this maneuver. Once again, we're squared off. I know this individual is either going to most likely shoot in or throw his right hand. As we come in, I notice he's throwing the big right. Move my head to the side so that I don't get hit. If I leave my head here, so I move my head as he throws it, moving my head slightly to the side, pushing the arm away as I step in straight ahead with my feet. Notice I'm not stepping to the side, creating space, but I'm closing the distance, bringing our bodies closer together. As I do this, the other hand that's coming around slides off, bicep on it. Notice the balance in my legs and my base is still ahead of me. I have my feet under me. I'm still under full control. Bringing the hand in, locking it on the bicep, stepping through with weight forward, twisting, bringing him down. Remember, controlling him when you're bringing him down. Don't just throw him down. You have full control of him, so control him when you bring him down. Therefore, you keep your base flat and they're not rolled. Keeping it tight, applying the choke by pushing down on the head towards the tricep, and bringing the hand up, choking off both sides of his neck. Fierce fighting, street situation number 2. Once again, being aware of your individual's most highest percentage would either be a shot or coming with a big right to end the fight right away. Knowing this, standing in front of my opponent once again, he throws a big right hand coming at me. This time, once again, making the punch ineffective, I close the distance, making the distance of the punch power be behind me. Therefore, if I did get hit by the arm, it's not as a damaging punch as the fist itself. That's one of the reasons I'm stepping in. But I'm not taking it. I'm stepping in with the point of the hand against the pressure point on the shoulder, coming down in a chopping motion, which immobilizes the shoulder, takes the strength away and all the power out of his shoulder. As I do this, I come in with my free hand to the face, 2 fingers on the eyeballs, holding here under the chin for full control of the face. Other hand slides off of the shoulder, grabs behind the head. Now I have full control. As I gouge the eye and the individual is momentarily immobilized, I come step through with my back foot, sweeping the downward motion, keeping hold of the arm, having control of the opponent, coming down, kicking once, twice. If the opponent is still conscious, locking up, armbar. Once again, listen carefully as we review this. Once again, he throws his big looping hand towards me. As I step in with a straight step, with my forward foot straight ahead, I'm coming across with a chopping motion on the pressure point of the shoulder, immobilizing the shoulder, taking the strength away, keeping my base so I can continue to go either direction. I am under control. As I chop, the other hand comes in a claw towards the face, 2 fingers on the eyeballs, middle index finger above the nose for control, thumb underneath the chin, full control. As I gouge downward with these fingers on the eyes, immobilizing him, I come across with the back foot, stepping through behind the leg, taking him down, holding on, sliding the hand up, holding on to the arm. As I stomp on the temple area, if the opponent is still conscious, I push my hand on the top part of the shoulder, holding him down, locking the arm under the elbow. As I push down and pull back, armbar. Now one more time from this angle, pay attention closely, keeping my base straight ahead, opponent in front of me, eyes aware of the whole picture. I see the big looping right hand come. As it comes, I step in to close the distance and take away from the power and redirect it. As I come in with the left hand, chopping down, notice the pressure point on the shoulder, taking away all the power in the shoulder, making his arm weak. Probably in a real fight would drop it. They're no longer having to worry about this weapon. Now the next move after the chop is to remember, come straight with your Right hand to the eyes, bringing these two fingers on each eyeball, the index finger on the top part bridge of the nose, thumb under the chin to keep full control, as you can see. As the hand from the chop slides behind the head, making me have the full, he can't pull his head away from me or to either side now. I gouge the eyes as in a downward motion. As this immobilizes him and makes him split second thinking, I come across with my back foot through space, coming back behind his hip, with my foot coming back as a chopping motion on the back of his legs as I push forward through him. He falls. As he falls, I have his arms trapped against my body. I don't bring space when he comes down. I control him through the whole fall, therefore keeping the spacing close. I slide my arm up, keeping hold of the arm, keeping the assailant close. Bring foot straight up, stop, stop. Once again, if he's still conscious, we can put our hand on his upper shoulder, keeping the blade right on the elbow, locking it up on your forearm with a pushing down and outward motion with my hip, keeping the arm locked, arm bar. All right, first fighting, situation number 3. Through my years of wrestling and bouncing, I've used this move many a times. It's perfect in a situation where the assaultant either attempts to grab you from close range, or you're already in a close range and he comes in to grab your shoulders. First thing I would want to do in this situation is block off the hands, just in a simple outward motion, creating an open space for my attack. Perfect for a headbutt in this situation. Remember, on the headbutt, tuck the chin, come down as one piece, shoulders bend as a hammer would come down. Don't headbutt like this. This is wrong. Once again, you come down, headbutt, stunning him, grabbing the back of the head to control him, headbutt. This would either end the fight or, like I said in wrestling, I've learned a bunch of moves from here that I'd love to do. One of them is a short fireman's carry. Off of the headbutt while the man is stunned, quickly, my right hand wraps underneath his arm, holding him, keeping control. As I reach with that, at the same time, my other hand is reaching underneath his leg here. To do this efficiently, I come underneath with my head. Remember, I'm not bending down. I'm dropping my legs, coming through with my legs, bringing my power from my legs as I step through, holding onto the butt and to the back of the tricep. I come up with the individual. Now I can do anything I want. I own him at this point. You can slam him on his head, on the concrete. You can run him into some brick buildings, whatever. I choose to slam him. I'm pulling down with the tricep, coming up with the back hand, bending the knee forward, pushing off the back leg, coming down. In this situation, I see the arm to finish the fight right away. I get my leg to control the arm, under the elbow with the blade, once again on the shoulder, lock it up, arm bar. Continuing explanation, listen up once again. This is a situation where your assaultant grabs you on your shoulders. Either you have a jacket on, or a t-shirt, be it whatever way he's grabbing you. He thinks he has control of you. At this moment, come across underneath with your arms, knocking the hands off. Even if he's grabbing it and he still has his hands held onto it, this will keep your hands held onto my shoulder. This will keep a space allowing you for your attack. My optimum attack at this point would not be to throw a punch, because he could probably block it by pushing my hands around. I wouldn't have control. Headbutt is wide open. To throw the headbutt, remember, drop the chin, come downward with the body, pushing in a one-piece motion, not throwing it with the chin. As I come down, the target area is this little triangle from the eyes to the lower part of the mouth. This is your target area. I come down with the headbutt. Some people in a realistic fight have a strong chin. You can punch them, you can kick them, and they won't go out. They may be a little stunned, but that won't finish a fight. Therefore, as I hit him, I notices that he's able to take this, yet he's stunned. At this moment, I am going to attempt to bring him and lift him off the ground, because a lot of people, like I said, can take punches, kicks, elbows, headbutts, but when you slam somebody with their full weight and your force slamming them onto the concrete, the fight's over. Headbutt comes in. Dropping my legs down to lower my base, to bring my strength in my legs, not in my back, because some people are just too heavy and you can't lift somebody up with your back. Either you'll hurt your back or you just don't have the strength. Whereas in your legs, there's a lot of power in your legs, lifting power. So as I step through, lowering my legs, I come across with the other arm, securing the arm, not allowing him to get away and recover from that last blow. Coming through underneath the leg, holding to the back of the upper hamstring, dropping my head through, at all times keeping my base below me, so it enabled me to get the power and the lift that I need. With my head down, I will not be able to get the lift to lift him off, also opening myself up to a possible choke. Therefore, I come down, head up, not allowing him to get the choke, head up, holding on to the tricep, tucking it in tightly as I lift up with my legs. Notice I'm lifting with my legs, not with my back. Once again, lifting with my legs. At this point, I have full control of him. I can walk him around, wave to my friends, and then the slam. The slam comes, pushing off the back leg, bending the front leg, creating a triangle, pulling down with the tricep of the side you're slamming him, pushing up with the backhand. As you notice, I am letting him down easy. In a real situation, I would put him down on the head. Keeping hold of the tricep, realizing that this did not end the fight, I see a perfect opportunity for an armbar. Stepping across with my leg, bringing the arm therefore between both of my legs, keeping it in tight for the control, pushing on the upper part of the shoulder also for control, and enabling me for the lock on the forearm, applying the armbar by pushing down and prying with the upper hand. Once again, situation in a street where you're just kicking back with your friends, or watching people dance, or wherever it may be. You're just standing there having a good time. All of a sudden, without you knowing, someone comes behind you and grabs you. Once again, here we are. You think you're in a helpless situation, wrong. In every situation, there's a way to escape and get out. The key is not to panic. When you panic, you're already lost. You're unable to think and cope with the situation. Standing here, I realize by relaxing that I do have a move and an escape. My escape from here would be to slightly drop my knees, coming out, creating slight space for a headbutt, rear headbutting my opponent. This headbutt is not powerful enough. You might get a lucky hit and knock him out. At most times, it will just stun him. This stun is good enough to open it up, the arms. As he opens up the arms, I come down, reaching down, grabbing behind the heel, the lower part of the opponent's heel, with my butt on the upper part of the thigh. I pull the leg back as I sit in a sitward down motion with this area right here. As the opponent falls, I keep hold of the ankle at all times, sitting on the upper part, right just above the kneecap, giving me the pressure to push down as I pull up the heel, creating a hyperextension like this. This type of hyperextension right here, breaking the kneecap, ending the fight. Once again, situation, man grabs you from behind. You're not totally hopeless. There's an escape for every attack. There's also a counter. The counter for this would be to slightly lower your legs, dropping your center of gravity, not allowing the individual to pick you up. Standing straight here makes it easy for this guy to lift me off the ground and slam me. With my base down, makes it very, very difficult for him to lift me up. Also, giving me the slight space I need to throw my headbutt. There it is. This is the only time I recommend you bending your head to throw the headbutt. Only in a back headbutt situation as this. Never throw it in front because you have all this area right here that could get hit with a block. So therefore, I come with the headbutt back. Like I said before, usually you will not be able to unconscious opponent with this, but you will be able to stun him, giving you the moment you need to start your attack and no longer be in a defensive mentality, but you now switch to the offensive mentality. Striking my opponent, opening up the arms, and dropping at the same time. This manner right here. Coming forward with my weight, not falling forward, but coming forward and down, pushing with my butt slightly. That way I don't fall forward and lose the leg, but I come into it. Grabbing the back of the heel with both hands, securing it tightly, and pushing down in a sitward motion with your area right here as I sweep the heel up, making my opponent fall to the floor. At this point, it is a perfect opportunity for a leg snap, putting my same area in the same place, keeping it tight above the knee. I'm sitting down and pushing the pressure downward as I'm pulling the ankle up, creating a hyperextension of the knee. Fierce fighting, situation 5 on a street. Here we have an individual. Remember, like I said earlier, the percentages of the first attack would be a big right or a shot. At this time, he comes in with a shot. Thinking it was going to be a right, I played the wrong move, and here I am. I cannot throw any strikes effective, no headbutts, no blows. The space is too close. At this point, it's no longer a battle of strikes, but a grappling match. And since you're learning fierce fighting, we know how to grapple. Controlling the back of the tricep, coming across with the hand through the face, locking behind the shoulder. This is allowing the space for me to do my movement, and also where the head goes, the body goes. Therefore, we push the head away from us, creating the space, getting his body close enough away from us, locking it up. As I twist the head, it loosens up his hands. I come across with my shoulder and my arm, forearm, such as this motion right here, pulling this towards me as I turn, creating a circular motion as he falls. As he falls, keep the arm, keeping control, not allowing him to roll and get back up, but keeping him close to you. At this point, back foot right across the lower buttocks area, locking it with your shin on this area, dropping the knee and the belly. Now I have full control. He cannot come towards me, for this is pushing him, pushing him so he pushes towards me. He can't roll. This is keeping him from rolling away. Now we do our assault. Coming in with punches. Remember, keep your punches Blind, don't come up with big high punches allowing him to block it, but keep your punches low and sneaky, coming with uppercuts, elbows. Sometimes you're going to find yourself in this situation right here. The individual came in on me, got me around my waist. I'm looking like I'm in a pretty bad situation right here. Yes, I'm in defensive mentality, but no, I am not in bad position. I'm still in control. My base is low, keeping it solid, not allowing him to move me around. At this point, keeping him close, I'm grabbing the tricep. There is no point in throwing any strikes. Strikes are very ineffective. Therefore, now we are going to grappling. And because you're studying these tapes, you'll be able to deal with the situation right here. Grabbing the back of the tricep, coming through with the hand, through the ear, locking it on the back of the shoulder, creating me the force to turn his head. Remember, where the head goes, the body goes. As I turn this head, making it very, very uncomfortable, he no longer feels that he's in an offensive position. Now his brain is switching to a defensive mentality. He's thinking to push into me or let go of his hands. It's too late. I'm already locked. As I lock this, I'm going to spin him and throw him to the ground with the motion of pulling the hand from behind the shoulder and turning in a circular motion the head, locking the back of the tricep the whole time. And remember, controlled fall. Don't just throw your man to the floor, allowing him to roll up and get back up and throw back at you. Keep your position. Locking it, twisting and turning in a downward motion, throwing him to the floor. I keep control of the man at all times. Once again, not allowing him to roll away and get back up. Keeping it in my dominant position. From here, the back foot comes straight across the butt, locking the shin on the side of the hips, bringing the knee down, creating pressure on the belly, keeping the arm tight, with the free hand, delivering blows. Remember, keeping your blows low and sneaky, therefore not allowing him to see them. You do not want to come up in this motion or in this motion. Keep them low, sneaky, in control. Don't just throw flurries and burn yourself out or allowing yourself to be rolled or countered. When you're in control, stay in control. Street fighting situation, be it in a bar or on the street. The individual has a weapon, he has a glass bottle in his hand, and he's going to come at you with it. I suggest you walk away, get away from this. Anytime the opponent has a weapon, there's no sense even sticking around. It's time to take off. But let's just say there's a wall back here, and there is no place for me to go, except straight ahead. Knowing his bottle and his attack is going to be with the bottle, I already know which side of the body to be very, very aware of. Not panicking, but starting to think and realizing and putting strategies together. I know he is only going to be able to throw that bottle in this direction, an upper body strike. Maybe downward, sideways, upward, but most likely to smash down on the head. Knowing this, I realized all of his weight and power is coming from his front leg, putting all of his weight on the front leg of the table. Therefore, that is what I plan on attacking, because it's very, very difficult for him to strike me in a low, shooting in motion, grabbing the back of the leg. As you can notice, very, very open down here. As I shoot in, remember, I'm shooting in, stepping with my front foot in between his legs, bringing my back foot straight across, coming in a 45-degree angle, attacking the shoulder on the top above the kneecap, grabbing the back of the ankles, not pushing him in this direction because he still has this leg that he could plant, but pushing him this direction because there's nothing No base for him. He has bases that way or that way, not this way because I have the leg. As I pull the back ankle in, I push the shoulder out and down, bringing him to the ground. Now that he is on the ground, remember he'll probably, if he didn't drop the bottle, will still have the bottle in the hand. Be aware of this. As I have him to the ground, I crawl up his body tightly, bringing my left hand across, blocking off the bottle, climbing up the body with the back knee underneath the armpits. Remember the side mount? This is the side mount. Bring the leg across and over, covering the individual, American lock, grabbing the wrist to block any more movement of the bottle, elbow into the ear, arm underneath, locking it on your own wrist, sucking the elbow down and circular motion at the same time. Sucking the elbow in, making a mobility of the shoulder, no longer able to move, no longer this way, but very, very limited, ripping the shoulder. Once again, situation you're against an individual with a weapon, the weapon being now a glass bottle. I don't suggest you take on anyone with a weapon. I suggest you walk away and come back some other time. In this situation, I realize he has a weapon to be striking me with. Most of the energy will be coming from this area right here. His very typical movements would be either a downward motion on the head or side motions. Notice the bottle is never going below the table. Realizing this, my attack will be underneath. Such as a wave, the power is on the top and the surfers go underneath the wave. Same thing. The power is all right here. Therefore, I will go underneath the power. As I step through, lowering my body with my legs, not with my head, opening my head and not allowing me to get a full penetration. When you do that, that's one reason why your head's up. It gives you the full penetration through the man. Whereas if your head's there, you stop yourself. Heads up, coming downward in a 45 degree, dropping my legs, hitting the meaty knee part with your shoulder as I wrap this around simultaneously. Remember, don't hit the shoulder first with the knee because the knee will move and I don't have the leg and he'll be able to back up, run away, and hit me. Therefore, remember, catch that ankle before you push him in any direction. As I catch that and wrap this one up, I push down, dropping him to the floor, aware that most likely he didn't drop that bottle. Don't assume the bottle has been dropped or broken. Never assume that. Always think that the weapon is still there. As I'm thinking this, my left hand is going to come up to block my face and to block his shoulder, allowing him not to come down with the bottle. As I do this, I am not lifting my body up, but sliding my body forward, bringing my knee under the armpit. Once again, I'm sliding forward, keeping it tight at all times, realizing that this is a perfect opportunity for an arm lock. I slide my back leg over into a full mount. As I do this, I'm pinching my knees in tight, keeping my base very, very flat, realizing that he may try to roll me at any moment. As I do this, I come over with the hand, grabbing the weapon and the wrist, not allowing him to hit me any longer. Now I can move this hand out of the way and lock it up. Do not come across in this motion before you block this because that will come across. Therefore, this first, then this, then you lock it. Bringing it back, turning it. Do not turn it from here. As you can see, it doesn't do anything. The shoulder is still very mobile, but when you bring the shoulder down, it creates some type of motion on the tendons that doesn't allow it to fully twist, keeping it tight and ripping the shoulder. Okay, here's a situation that you don't want to ever find yourself in, but you have to be prepared for all situations, for every circumstance. Be it that this guy may be a good grappler, or be it that I may have made a mistake by keeping my head down when I shot in, I'm caught in a front choke. If with a very experienced grappler, or even a semi-experienced grappler, if I don't know what to do in this situation, I'm in very grave danger, possibly of unconscious, and who knows what the man can do to you from there. Therefore, the first thing I want to do is create slight space, that way he can't get his hip in and lift me up. This space gives me the time and moment to give him a quick little check. This quick little thing quickly makes him think he can't lift it up and he has to react. Before he can react, you have that split moment once again to be on the offensive before you switch to defensive. From here, I realize the move I'm going to do is going to step through, lifting up my head, taking his back, possibly taking a back choke, or we'll see where we end up from there. Pushing here, I step through with my right leg. As I step through with my right leg, I look up. Looking up locks the hand and shoulder, bringing the hips in close, not allowing him to turn and face me. As I bring it in close, before I take his back, I realize I'm in an excellent situation for a slam. To slam him from here, since I have a high center of gravity, it wouldn't be very wise to lift him because I don't have the proper leverage and I don't have the proper leg strength to do it or back strength. Therefore, I drop my legs, giving me a strong base to lift. As I drop my legs, when I'm turning, this hand comes underneath, coming all the way around, grabbing the front of the thigh, keeping control in close. Other hand comes over, locking in the back of the neck, locking the back of the neck and the forearm on the other side of the neck in a V motion, keeping control of the head. As I do this, I lift up with my legs. As I lift up with my legs, come down and slam him right on the crown of his head, straight on the cement, breaking his neck, ending the fight. Okay, here we are again. Let's review. Once again, it's very important to review and review. That way you get the proper understanding of the concepts and principles of this technique. You're going to, once in a while, find yourself in bad position. You need to know how to get yourself out of that position and turn it into an offensive position. Here I am. I'm caught in a front choke. If he is experienced or even semi-experienced in a choke, he will be able to put me out here if I don't know what to do. First thing I must do is push his hip away, not allowing him to have the proper torque or lift and leverage to put me out. This buys me a split second. This split second is the time for you to do your move. The proper counter from this move, an excellent counter, would be to step through to take his back. To do this, you mustn't half step through it, you must fully step through it. Remember, this is a do or die situation. Therefore, use all of your energy stepping through and coming up as such. Just as this. Remember, watch my hips. My hips come through. Therefore, it's lifting with my hips. I'm lifting with my hips, not my back. As I step through and lift with my hips, I turn my head, looking at my individual, keeping my hips in tight, my base solid, grabbing the leg. Remember, your opponent is not going to stand there. He's going to be trying to move around, trying to turn, maybe even back into me. Therefore, always look up, keeping it tight, and grabbing and keeping it close. As I grab this leg, I lower my hips because I realize I have him perfect for a slam here. I put my hand right against his side of his neck, locking it right on the other side, locking the head, having full control of the head, full control of his hips. I'm in control. From here, I want to do a head slam and end the fight. I lift him up and down on the crown of his head. Fight is over. Okay, here we are in most street fight situation. The confrontation will start with a push, trying to make me into an aggressive mode, making me fight back with them. In this situation, remember, always to stay cool and calm. Here's going to be a way that you can actually finish the fight before the fight starts. So once again, there's the push. Aware that this push is going to occur, or even unaware of it, when he pushes you a couple of times, get ready to do this move. He pushes me, I'm going to parry the shoulder by pushing the shoulder, tucking the shoulder in, and with the outward part of the wrist, I'm pushing the hand out this way, making a sliding motion, allowing me to step in. As I step in with my right leg, the outside leg, I bring the arm up and around and lock it up right underneath the arm. Locking it right under the armpit. This is called a wizard. As I got this wizard, I am in a proper position for a wizard throw. As I got my hand locked, stepping with the same out leg, in between his leg, notice how I'm turning my hips, bringing my hips toward him. As his hip comes toward him in, it twists, bringing my hip right into his pocket. This arm tight. As I bring him downward, I'm kicking up upward with this back leg, kicking his base out, flipping him over to the downward motion. From here, remember, always keep in control. As I'm falling, step over into a mount. And then you're in the mount. From this position, you can see you have your arm bar, and you have your strikes, and you even have good headbutts. Remember, keeping your base solid, keeping the head down, and attacking in a one-word motion, tucking your chin in a downward motion. So once again, we have an arm bar, we have strikes, we have elbows, but I don't suggest these elbows because you're coming up so high and down that he most likely will be able to block it. You always want to sneaky your shots in. And we have headbutts. Here we are in a fight situation. The opponent's pushing you. He wants to fight. I don't want to fight. Well, here's what you can do from here. Back up a little bit. As he pushes me a couple times, I realize he's going to keep pushing me. As he pushes me, I turn my hip. As you see, that automatically makes it slide off. If it doesn't, you also are going to do the wrist turn out at the same time, parrying the arm out. As you parry the arm out, you always want to stay tight in a straight forward motion, closing the space. Always closing the space in a straight attack. Closing the distance, not allowing this hand to come across and get you. You're in a closed distance. As I come in across with the step, the arm comes up, locks underneath the armpit into a wizard, keeping him now in my control. Now, at the same time, I'm going to step through, turn my hip. Step through, turn my hip. Reason is, perfect opportunity for a throw. As I turn my hips, remember I'm dropping my center of gravity and bending my legs to give me the extra hip for the throw. Your throw and power comes from your hip. Just as with your punches and with your grappling, hips are very important. So remember, coming down, dropping your hip, throwing it up. As I throw it up, I'm pulling the shoulder down and kicking out his base, back leg, all at the same time. As he falls, remember to keep it in tight. Step across. From here, you're in good position for strikes, headbutts, and submission. Remember, always in control. Remember your base. In this situation, I landed and his arm is underneath mine. Be aware that he may try to throw it off, so keep it in tight. Keep it in tight, not allowing it to move. You're in full control. Street situation. Check this out. Somehow, individual has your hand. Either he grabbed it because you went to shake his hand, or try to say, no, thank you, I don't want to fight, and kind of push him away. He grabbed your wrist. Or maybe you have your keys to your car and he wants to take your car, so he grabbed your hand to get the keys. You have money, whatever reason, he's got your wrist. Here's an excellent move to do from here. From here, you got but a split moment to do your move. The move I want to do from here is create a slight bit of space with my free hand, reach underneath and grabbing the thumb, meaty part of the thumb, lower thumb, palm area, reaching over and grabbing it, pulling it down and turning it. As I turn the wrist with the other hand that is now free, grabbing the knuckles, turning it in the same motion as I step through, the individual falls, keeping your leg in, remember your back in leg tight, keeping the hand and pulling. Remember, you're twisting the elbow, not just straight back, but back in a slight turning motion, as that. That's the motion. Not back, but back and turn. Keeping elbow in, not having no movement. There it is. Once again, here we are. Individual has your hand. This is also a great one for the women out there when, you know, a guy try to grab you, pull you in the car, or maybe he tries to ask you to dance and you don't want to dance with the guy. So he's got your hand. First thing I want to do is create a little space so that I have proper angles to do my maneuver and my technique. Remember angles, remember balance, and remember, always stay in a relaxed mentality mode. So he has my wrist. I don't want to dance with him. So with my free hand, I come underneath, grab the meaty palm area, right connected to the thumb. As I grab that and turn it down, it frees up the wrist that he had. As his hand is free, I come around, grabbing the top knuckles and twisting with a back and slight turn at the same time. As I do this turn, it's bringing his momentum this way. As I step through, he falls to the ground. As he falls to the ground, I bring my knee on the belly once again, keeping hold of this arm as I do this, pushing the elbow in, down, and twist. There it is. Remember, it's important to keep this knee on the belly because it's keeping control of this guy, keeping him down, keeping your pressure on him, not only making it hard for him to breathe, but also you're twisting this at the same time, giving him a little double dose right there. One point I really want to illustrate is the turning of the wrist. Don't just turn your wrist over because the assailant might have the strength to not let you be able to turn it. So you're turning it by putting my wrist down. Watch my wrist go down this way. This is how I'm turning my wrist. This is not strength, this is technique. Whereas this would be strength. And he would, if I was a woman, he would definitely be able to hold my wrist. But when you come down and flex the hand down in a circular motion as such, it opens the wrist to automatically turn, leaving the meaty part exposed for you to come over and grab. Ah! Ah! Conclusion to these techniques, I just like to say you can see they're very effective, but in order for them to be effective, you need to be in the right mind frame. The right mind frame, like I said, is to be relaxed. To be relaxed, you need to be confident. And to be confident, you need to go over these techniques all the time and do repetitions and repetitions. That way, when you find yourself in this situation, you know what to do. Remember, don't go looking for trouble. But if trouble comes to you, now you know what to do.